Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my 2025 bullet journal setup, at least for the first 6 months. As you can see, I have my brand new bullet journal here from Primrosia. This is their 160 GSM watercolor paper bullet journal. It has 160 pages and it is the same as the one that I've used over the past 6 months, and I have loved using it as the papers are very thick and very watercolor friendly, so there's really no limitations as to what I can do with it. So I have gotten this one in a new color and I'm really excited to get started. I'm going to be doing a pretty simple setup as I'm going to switch over my format and try something new in this one of doing quarterly setups. So the yearly setup is going to be simple yet fun and elegant. I'm happy that you are here to join me. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so opening up the first page, the first thing to do is to write my name. And I have penciled it in because I am going to be using my new feather quill pen, and I just figured better safe than sorry. But I'm going to lighten up the lines a little bit beforehand so that there won't be as much erasing to do afterwards. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with this rusty dark reddish color for the name. I only have 2 colors. I thought that the feather pen came with black, and so I only ordered a couple of other colors, but turns out that it actually did not come with black. Whew. I always feel a little bit nervous and it's extra because of this pen, but let's try it. There we go. Let me just fix. There, okay. Whew. I'm gonna let that dry. Make sure it's dry before I turn the page. Okay, so with our name page done, let's open up to the next page. A lot of people will glue this page all together or turn it into something else since it's a little bit awkward, but I decided to use it as my words for this year type of page. I have the some verses that I want to write down right here, so I'm gonna do that. Here is my little grid paper. So since I used this notebook, this exact same type of notebook for my most previous bullet journal, I had just a few extra pages in the back, and I did not need to cut one out of here, but instead I took one out of the back of that one, and I made this little grid bookmark type thing so that I can easily pull it out and measure quickly whatever I need to measure when I'm doing all of my spreads. So there's that, and this is a little glimpse of kind of the theme, the washi tape that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I am going to letter this in, and then I'll probably be using this pen. It's the same as the other, it just has a finer, I just have a finer nib in it, and so I'm thinking I'll use this one to do the writing over here since that's going to be much smaller. All right, so with the hand lettering done, we are going to move on to a little bit of decoration. And I have this kit here of washi tapes. It is from Songdao. I ordered it off of AliExpress. So I'm going to choose a few of these. And just like that, our words for the year / inspiration page is done. So moving on to the next spread. This is basically our year at a glance, although I chose not to write that in because it just seems like it's used so often and it's a little redundant. It's obvious what it is, and so instead I just made these calendars. I have them all penciled in, and then I have a square for each month of the year. I am planning on only using this bullet journal for the first 6 months, but I still put all 12 months in here because there are things that I will probably migrate over into my next bullet journal. So I made sure to have spaces here for all 12 months. This is basically an events page. Anything big coming up, any dates that I will need to remember, and definitely birthdays. need this because I am not the greatest at remembering birthdays, and so I wanted to have a space where I could list all of the birthdays in each month, and then also have a little room for any other important dates that I may need to remember. So let's get started with penning this in. And for these letters over here, I will be stamping them. Okay, and I'm just going to be writing events. Okay, so there it says events. I better put away this ink. Okay, so we are going to draw in all of our lines and label our months. Okay, so now with our calendar all filled in, let's go ahead and add a little bit of washi tape to the bottoms. I am going to use this little metallic palette here with any little brush. I'm going to activate the gold. So the last thing that we're going to do is with our little stamps here, we're just going to put the first letter of each month on top of this little gold patch. Alright, so finishing up with our year at a glance, and I think that it's done. So let's go over to our final page, which is an idea that I saw and I decided I wanted to do it for this year, and that is a little slot here with a letter to myself that I will write at the end of the year, and then I will not read it until the start of next year, or maybe until I start my next bullet journal halfway through the year. So I have this cut out and I have folded it over. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape to stick it on down, and then I will label and decorate, and then we will do this page here, which is just something that I wanted to do, which is my own idea. It was tidbits of 2025's adventures and quests. So the idea is to write little things down as they happen, maybe just certain highlights or my favorite moments of the year, as well as kind of scrapbooking. I really like to get little bits of papers of like ticket stubs and stuff like that, and just make like a mosaic of them here, a collage of them throughout the year, and see what it looks like at the end. So that is what these two spreads are for, and they are the final two for this setup. So let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is tape this down. And there it is, done. So let's do our final flip through. So here's the name page, and here's the cover page with my words and my verse. So the three words are nurture, connect, and lead, which are the three things that I want to focus on doing the most over these next 6 months, especially since I have a baby coming very soon. I will be doing a lot of nurturing, but I want to remember to connect and to lead as well. As a mother, that is the season that I am in right now in life, and so along those lines, I just wrote down this verse as a nice little thing to remember from 1 Peter 3:1-4. And then going on to our year at a glance, here's our calendar, and here are our event spaces. I really love how the gold shimmers. I think it goes along really well with the whole theme. And then last but not least, we have a spread for a letter to myself, and just so that you can see that the little space works, there it is. And my tidbits of 25's adventures and quests. And that is it for this layout, you guys. I am so excited to use this. And if you're wondering why it seems like it's not that much, well, I will be doing quarterly spreads this year, or at least in this bullet journal. I want to try it. I used to do monthly, and I tried at some point to do quarterly and monthly, and the quarterly fell by the wayside. And so what I'm planning on doing, at least I'm going to try it out for this first quarter of 2025, is to have a main setup for the quarter where I will do my trackers and my calendars and my goals for 3 months. And then what I'm going to be doing from there are weeks. So I don't want to do month by month and then have the uneven weeks, which is always a little bit of a irritation to me. So I'm going to be doing this year by weeks. So I will have a quarterly setup with my goals and my trackers and all of that fun stuff. And then I will be doing week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on and so forth. And then when the next quarter comes around, I will do a new layout and reassess my goals and what I want to accomplish. This seems a lot more doable to me than doing yearly goals. And also right now, just in this busy season of life, a month goes by super fast. And so that's why I thought I wanted to try out this method of just going quarterly. So it'll be every 3 months, and I will have 3 months to work on whatever goals it is that I set. And I decided this year that I didn't want to set any major goals for the whole year, because it just seems right now like that's looking really far ahead into the future. And so that was why I didn't make a goals page for my setup, but rather just this little space here to record my favorite things that happen throughout the next 6 months. So if you enjoyed this video and this setup, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come back to see my quarterly setups that I will be doing very soon, and then after that my weeklies. So I thank you guys for watching. This has been so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it and that you were inspired, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon with the first quarterly setup for 2025. Much love, and as always, stay happy.